Chiefs Kingdom, question for you. Do you want to keep Chris Jones for the 2020 season? I do, which means I'm going to like this video. You should do the same if you want to keep Stone Cold Jones for the 2020 season. On today's show, I got the top 10 most important Chiefs in 2020, so stick around and find out where Chris Jones comes in on that list. At number 10, I got rookie linebacker Willie Gay Jr. A lot of you guys are probably thinking a rookie linebacker. Well, linebacker position isn't great for the Kansas City Chiefs, which is why they took a chance on a troubled linebacker out of Mississippi State in the second round. He's got the raw tools to be an excellent NFL linebacker. Now, you know, the stats at Mississippi State don't jump out because he was suspended some this last year, missed some games with off-the-field issues, but he's got the ability. He's a mid-4.4 guy, the fastest linebacker on this football team. Anthony Hitchens, Damian Williams, they're nice veterans. Not great, especially against the pass. So I expect Willie Gay Jr. to have a role and to have a role early. I think by the end of the season, he could be the best linebacker on this football team, and they need him to be, especially moving forward as well, not just for 2020, because there's not a lot of depth at the linebacker position. Now, luckily, the Chiefs, like most NFL teams, sit in nickel most of the time, but I do think Willie Gay Jr. will have a role as a rookie and will be counted on a lot in the 2020 season. All right, now what do you guys think? Bigger impact for these two rookies, Willie Gay Jr. or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? If you think it's Willie Gay, type G. If you think it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, go ahead and type C. Let me know down in the comments section. All right, some honorable mentions before we continue our top 10 list. Other guys that didn't quite make our top 10. Mecole Hardman, the wide receiver. I think he's going to have a big season. He's just not a top 10 most important player because the Chiefs have a ton of weapons there. Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle. He's rock solid. I don't worry about him. Plus, he's not protecting Mahomes' blind side, which means Eric Fisher is going to be on this list. Mike Pinnell, the defensive tackle. I thought he made a big difference last year in the run game once they picked him up. Anthony Hitchens, just talked about Willie Gay. I've got him on my honorable mentions list as well. And then Juan Thornhill, the second-year safety. Don't think it's a critical position, but I do think he does have a lot of value for this team moving forward. All right, number 9, I've got Rashad Fenton, the second-year corner. I expect him to be the starting nickel to replace Kendall Fuller in Kansas City. That's asking a lot because Kendall Fuller was kind of a Swiss Army knife. Now, he wasn't great. He certainly wasn't worth 4 years and $40 million, which is what the Washington Redskins gave him. That's going to be a new team name very, very soon. But I think Fenton is a player that we saw down the stretch play a lot better in 2019. The Chiefs started to trust him more. Spags put him out there more in key situations. I think he's ready for a bigger role this season. I expect him to step up, and the Chiefs are expecting that as well because they didn't really address the nickel spot in free agency or in the draft. Sure, they took L'Jarius Sneed, but I think Rashad Fenton's going to get the first crack at that spot in 2020. Before we continue, we need you guys to stay safe because we want a football season. We want to watch the Chiefs try to defend their Super Bowl title. Got to wear a mask. That's how we try and flatten the curve. We don't have all the information, but we think masks help. So go to chatsports.com/ChiefsMask1, chatsports.com/ChiefsMask1. Just $14.99. You can stay safe in style and represent the Chiefs. And if we're allowed to go to games this year, you're probably going to have to wear one of these. So why not get a Chiefs one at chatsports.com/ChiefsMask1. Number 8 player here is Bashaud Breeland. Now, I think I would have him a couple spots higher, but he's probably going to get suspended for either 2, 4, or 6 games. I don't think it'll be 6. I'm guessing it'll be 2 or 4 for the off-the-field concerns. He had the arrest earlier this offseason, but apparently he was already facing a suspension. At least those are the rumors that continue to swirl around the Kansas City Chiefs. He quietly became the Chiefs' number 1 corner last year. Now, he's been very up and down in his career, so the Chiefs are kind of banking on him being what he was in 2019. Is that a good plan? Maybe, maybe not, because there's a reason he's bounced around the NFL. I'll just put it like that. I think he can be a good player for this team, but will he be rusty after the suspension, assuming there is a suspension? We'll have to wait and see. I think the way he plays is very important because the Chiefs are not proven and pretty thin at the cornerback position overall. Sure, you got Charvarius Ward on the other side, but who's your other outside corners? Like Alex Brown? I don't think you want to put him out there. So you really need Breeland. You need Ward. Those guys to be solid in 2020. Again, Fenton and Snead will probably combine and take over the slot. I think Fenton will get that crack there. So we just talked about two corners, Rashad Fenton, Bashaud Breeland. Who is more important for the 2020 NFL season? If you think it's Rashad Fenton, type F. If you think it's Bashaud Breeland, type B. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Next up, Travis Kelce, my number 7 most important player. A lot of you guys are probably like, he should be higher. This isn't a list of best players on the Chiefs. If that's what it was, he'd be top 3 or 4. But, as good as he is, as great as he is, and he is very important, he is still a tight end. Yes, I don't think this offense would hum the way it does if he missed a lot of games, but you still have Tyreek Hill. You still have other pieces. You got Hardman, Sammy Watkins. You can run the football a little bit as well. I don't think this team just falls apart without Travis Kelce. That being said, he is the guy that makes this offense, go to that next level. So, obviously he's very important. That's why I have him in my top 10. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's been really, really good. For my money, he is the best tight end in the National Football League, especially for this team. The way he fits this passing attack, I think he is easily the best option for the Kansas City Chiefs. And obviously behind him, Ricky Seals-Jones. He's not going to replace Travis Kelce. You lost Blake Bell. So you need him out there. He's very important. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's quite as important as a couple of other players on my list. Who's the best tight end in the NFL? If you think it's Travis Kelce, I want you to like this video. We all know it is. If you think it's George Kittle, if you 49er fans are infiltrating this video, go ahead and type K in the comment section. I expect to see a lot of likes on this video. Number 6, I've got Eric Fisher. I teased this earlier. I got Mitchell Schwartz on my honorable mentions list. Obviously, he's a better player than Eric Fisher. But Fisher protects Mahomes' blindside, missed 8 games last year, which was not great. And he was not good in the Super Bowl, guys. I need him to play better in 2020 to protect the most valuable asset in the NFL, and that is Patrick Mahomes. We've talked about it a little bit. After this season, there's a decent chance the Chiefs move on and Lucas Niang plugs in there because Eric Fisher, you can get out of his contract for only like $3 million dead cap next year. So it's not only important for the Chiefs for him to play well this year, but also for himself if he wants to be here long term. Again, protecting Mahomes' blindside, very, very important. It's important for every team, but even more so for Kansas City and especially a quarterback like Mahomes, who at times will hold the ball a little, an extra second or two to try and make that big play. So it's important for him to be rock solid this season. Before we get into our top 5, I want you guys to subscribe to the Chiefs Report. Let's get to 6,000 subs as fast as we can, just a few hundred away here at youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Share that link with a friend. Help us out. You're watching right now, so just hit that big red subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. We want to put videos up every day. Don't have enough subs to quite do it right now. We're doing 3 or 4 a week, so help us out, grow the channel. That means we'll do more videos just for you guys. All right, top 5 here. Frank Clark, the defensive end. He was pretty good last year, especially down the stretch. He was really good in the playoff run, but they did not trade for him and give him $100 million to be an 8-sack guy. Now, he dealt with neck stingers last year. He was banged up, certainly, but they did not pay all that money for him to be, a number 2 type of pass rusher. I expect him to take a big jump this year, and he needs to because that's what the contract demands for him to do. So he needs to have a big 2020 season. Can't be good for 6 of 16 games. You got to be good for 12 or 13 of 16 games to fully play out that contract. And kind of like Eric Fisher we just talked about, Frank Clark. Not this year, not next year, but after that, the Chiefs can get out of his contract for not a ton of dead cap money. So it's in his best interest to be good as well. Chiefs need that dominant edge rusher. Obviously, Chris Jones on the inside. We'll get to him in a little bit. But Alex Okafor is more of a, secondary type of pass rusher. I will just leave it at that. Again, 8 sacks, good, but you expect this guy to be a double-digit sack guy after you paid him $100 million and traded for him from the Seattle Seahawks. How many sacks for Frank Clark in 2020? Go ahead and predict in the comments section. 8 last year. How about 10.5? That's the number I'll put it at. 10.5 sacks for Clark in 2020. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Top 4 here. Tyreek Hill at number 4. You guys probably saw this coming. I just think he's more valuable than Travis Kelce because he's one of about I joke, 3 players that literally can take it to the house every time he touches the football. He has 17 touchdowns of 50-plus yards since he entered the league in 2016. That's 9 more than any other player, guys. Like, there's not a weapon like Tyreek Hill in the NFL. He still had almost 900 yards last year, and he missed 5 games. Like, he's really, really good. I think he's going to be really, really good again this year. Maybe even push for 1,300 or 1,400 yards despite how many weapons are on this offense. This guy is just a game wrecker every time he touches the football. And look, he's your number one receiver. Like most teams, number one receivers are very, very important. Yeah, you got Watkins, you got McCole Hardman, but you take Tyreek out of the mix, that, defenses can key in a little bit more, get away with playing man-to-man coverage a little more often. Whereas right now, you can't really do that against this offense because there's too many mismatches, including Tyreek Hill. Tyrann Mathieu, my number 3 most important player for 2020. It's obvious the difference he made this past season with Spags' defense, especially down the stretch. Once he was locked in, he became that all-pro player, that he was a couple of years ago back in Arizona. Didn't play that great in Houston last year, but he was awesome with the Chiefs in 2019. I expect him to be awesome in 2020 as well. Not only his play, not only his versatility, his leadership became very, very obvious to me, and his teammates would say the same as well. Had a monster season last year statistically, has a strong voice in that locker room, plays a major, major role on this Chiefs defense under Steve Spagnuolo. And hey, with Juan Thornhill potentially missing a couple of games early on, he's even that much more valuable. Remember, Kendall Fuller's gone as well, so he's got to be even that much more important for the 2020 season. Top 2, Chris Jones, number 2. Look, there's rumors flying around this guy right now. Are they going to trade him? Are they not going to get an extension done? You better at least keep him for this year, because I don't think some of you guys realize how important this guy is. You know how rare it is to find interior pass rushers that have 24.5 sacks over a 2-year period? It doesn't exist. Like, they're not out there. Aaron Donald's the only other guy who can get after the quarterback from the inside like Chris Jones can. He's excellent. I love Frank Clark. He's not Chris Jones. He's just not. Chris Jones is an excellent, excellent football player, and he's pretty good against the run as well. People think he's not good against the run. He's well above average in that area also. I think it's very important for the Chiefs to get this figured out. At least keep him for this year. Like, you got to convince him to report. Now, I don't think he's going to sit out. He says, Le'Veon Bell told me about this. Le'Veon Bell had already made $15+ million in his career when he did that before signing with the Jets the year after. Chris Jones has made like $6.5 million. Is he really going to turn down $16 million in the middle of a pandemic with a lot of uncertainty? I don't think so, but is it worth the risk if you're the Chiefs? I think it's a fair question to ask. Hopefully the Chiefs and Jones can figure this out, and he's a part of this team because he is very, very important. Now, who is more important? Is it Chris Jones or Tyrann Mathieu? If it's Chris Jones, type J. If it's Tyrann Mathieu, type M. I think it's Chris Jones because he's the guy that gets after the quarterback. Obviously, number 1, no surprise, and this is the case for most teams, but especially the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback. Like, he's not only the most important player in Kansas City, he's the most important player in the NFL because he completely erased the stigma of this franchise being known as the team in the NFL to come up short in big games. He completely changed Andy Reid's legacy of, hey, this is a coach, that always got to the big game, couldn't ever win it though. He can now because he's got the best player in the NFL, and that is Patrick Mahomes. The numbers he's put up in the 31 starts of his career are historic this early on in his career. Almost 10,000 yards in 2 seasons of starting. It's unheard of. The guy's unreal. You guys know that. He's the most important player. Sure, this offense can move at a decent clip with a veteran backup like Chad Henne. We saw Matt Moore hold his own last year, but it's not going to be the same. Not even close. This team has 0 chance to win a Super Bowl if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. So he is by far the most important player on the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to keep him healthy. That's why I had Eric Fisher at number 6 because his blind side needs to stay clean. All right, that's it. That's my top 10. Who's the most important Chief for 2020? I think it's pretty obvious. It's Patrick Mahomes. I expect a lot of you guys to comment that down in the comment section, so go ahead and let me know down there. Just to recap my top 10 from 10 down to 1, Willie Gay Jr. at number 10, Rashad Fenton at number 9, Bashaud Breeland at number 8, Travis Kelce at number 7, Eric Fisher at number 6. Top 5, Frank Clark. Number 4 is Tyreek Hill. Tyrann Mathieu comes in at number 3. Chris Jones at number 2. And then, yes, Patrick Mahomes at number 1. He is your most important Kansas City Chief for 2020.